Coming up, severe weather continues to charge through several Midwestern states, leaving substantial damage behind. And President Trump quickly blew up a White House meeting with Democrats yesterday. Plus, in West Virginia, Logan County officials are drafting an ordinance that would change county law and ban any kind of needle exchange program.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. We are just shy of 6:31. It is Thursday, May the 23rd. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning into Mountain News this morning. Well, yesterday was warm. My forehead got a little burnt, to be honest with you, because the sun was out. Barely a cloud in the sky. Would have been a perfect day to be on a lake. And as we're heading towards the Memorial Day weekend, you're going to want to get some water in your body because it's going to be a scorcher. Let's bring Brandon in this morning, give us a better breakdown. Brandon, good morning.
Good morning, my friend. And you're right. You're going to want to hit the water, and you're going to want to make sure that you stay hydrated because temperatures are going to be record-breaking, potentially, at times. Let's take a look, see what's going on this morning outside WYMT here in Hazard, and things trying to get a little bit brighter there. Starting to see a little bit of fog across parts of the area. Mountain Parkway at Slade. Again, maybe a little touch of fog, maybe some clouds up that way. Not a whole lot of clouds, but you can see a few drifting through there on the satellite and radar composite this morning, last 6 hours on the loop. 60s and 70s as you head out the door this morning. That warm front really draped right across most of the area, and just off to our west where they saw some storms overnight, some severe storms, even some tornadoes and some flooding. At Casper today, temperatures climb quickly, getting into the upper 80s later today with some scattered chances for showers and storms. I have more on the forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, a confirmed large and destructive tornado hit Missouri's capital, Jefferson City, overnight, according to the National Weather Service. These are just some of the early pictures coming in of the damage. Oklahoma is also experiencing overwhelming flooding. In Oklahoma City, police are going door to door, warning residents who live near a lake that a deluge of water could soon be coming their way.
As if we get any torrential more rain, there's a possibility that the dam could bust.
The National Weather Service says the severe storms, which could include tornadoes and large hail, are expected to continue throughout the area at least through this morning. Well, one day after the primary election, Governor Matt Bevin has started his attacks against the Beshear family. The governor talked on Fox News about his familiar opponent last night. While talking about pensions, Governor Bevin had harsh words for former Governor Steve Beshear. But during his victory speech Tuesday, Andy Beshear said Governor Bevin had not done enough for Kentucky families.
The good thing is this: I'm running against this guy, and I hate to say this, he's a liar, as is his father before him, and that seems a provocative thing to say. But it's a word that has real meaning and definition. These things are not true. The irony is his father, who was the governor before me, never fully funded any of those pensions ever, not one time in 8 years.
It is wrong when Matt Bevin tries to strip health care from thousands of our families. It is wrong when he tries to slash our workers' pensions. It is wrong when he tries to tear down public education. And it is wrong when he fails to create good jobs in Eastern and Western Kentucky, because every part of our state deserves to succeed.
Now, along with Bevin and Beshear, Libertarian John Hicks will also be on the ballot in November. Well, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam's political career almost ended when a photograph of a man in blackface standing next to someone in Ku Klux Klan clothing surfaced on his medical school yearbook page. Investigators working on behalf of Eastern Virginia Medical School said Wednesday they could not conclusively determine the identities of either person in a photo, and that they could not determine how the picture was placed on the page. They also found no evidence it was placed there by mistake or as a prank. Well, a bipartisan meeting on infrastructure crumbled yesterday. President Trump quickly blew up a White House meeting with Democrats furious over comments House Speaker Nancy Pelosi made earlier on Capitol Hill.
I believe that the President of the United States is engaged in a cover-up.
Now, Pelosi said the president had a temper tantrum. He wrote back on Twitter saying, "Not true. I was purposely very polite and calm." And while impeachment talks grow louder, Pelosi wants to keep Democrats focused on investigating President Trump. Well, the number of migrant children who have recently died in custody after illegally crossing the U.S. border has climbed to 6. The Health and Human Services Department says a 10-year-old girl died in September in an Omaha, Nebraska hospital. A statement says she had a history of congenital heart defects and complications from a surgery that left her in a comatose state. The department says she died of fever and respiratory distress. This girl's death is the only one that appeared to involve pre-existing conditions. Officials say they waited 8 months to announce her death because media is not on the list of people who need to be notified. Well, the so-called American Taliban is back in the news after nearly 2 decades. John Walker Lind, arrested in Afghanistan shortly after the 9/11 attacks, is set to be released this week. Documents based on interrogation say Lind went to Pakistan in 2000 and trained with the radical Islamic group. But before moving to Afghanistan, where he became a member of the Taliban, Lind was sentenced to prison for 20 years, serving 17 of them. Some are skeptical of the decision to release him.
Is this guy still the same Al-Qaeda member that we put in jail? If he's still an Al-Qaeda member we put in jail, then we need to throw the plea agreement away and do something else.
According to a report from the Bureau of Prisons, Lind previously said in emails that once he was released, he may want to move to Ireland, where he also has citizenship, or Puerto Rico. Well, the Pentagon is reportedly ready to share with the White House a plan that could send thousands of more U.S. troops to the Middle East. According to 3 U.S. officials, the Pentagon is scheduled to detail their proposal to senior members of President Trump's national security team. That briefing could come as soon as today. The proposal looks at deploying thousands of additional troops to the region amid rising tensions with Iran. Well, medical marijuana officially went on sale in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio area Tuesday. It's a day that's been months in the making. Count Melissa West among those who are happy Greater Cincinnati has a medical marijuana dispensary that's open for business. Like others who spent more than an hour or 2 in line, West was determined to buy marijuana that's undergone extensive testing.
It's not about just getting high. It really does help. They have different strains, different levels, so you get what you're looking for.
Because the marijuana sold here is tested so thoroughly, the price can add up. But patients at this dispensary appear to be okay with the cost, which West compared to a car payment, especially when they go home with marijuana that has been thoroughly regulated. To West Virginia now, Logan County specifically, where officials are drafting an ordinance that would change county law and ban any kind of needle exchange program before they even have one to begin with. Officials say the program would not benefit the people in the county. Commissioner Danny Godby says that they want to help those dealing with addiction, but they don't believe this would solve any problems.
We are concerned about individuals who have problems. We pray for those types of people from a moral issue. We are concerned from the bottom of our heart. But also, contrary, on the other hand, we don't want to see anything inflict upon citizens within our county who don't want to be subjected to these sorts of things.
The county commission voted 2-1 to create the ordinance. Once the ordinance is drafted, it will be read in front of a commission before it is set in stone. Well, looking at the forecast for this holiday weekend, families may consider lounging by the pool or even cruising on the lake just to stay cool. Buckhorn Lake State Resort Park in Perry County is now a few steps closer to being what workers consider Memorial Day ready. WYMT's Taylor Upchurch has more.
Once beneath floodwaters sitting 50 feet higher.
Our beach house was completely underwater, as well as our playground.
2019 spring flooding left Buckhorn Lake at more than 800 feet above sea level. Maintenance crews stayed the course until this park looked once again like a resort.
They had to take all the debris that was left behind from the flooding and get it in piles and then burn.
Feeling Memorial Day ready, workers happily invite guests to stay. Only now they can experience more than results of flood cleanup.
We have been selling alcohol for a few weeks now.
Visitors eating at the Bowlingtown Country Kitchen have a few more drink options for the scorching hot holiday.
They can purchase alcohol during the operation hours of the dining room.
Workers are already getting a head start on training before the holiday weekend, making sure no one is overserved. Rules and regulations are a must.
Safety is always important now on the lake and boating, swimming, but also safety is important anytime consuming alcohol.
Hoping sales bring more people to the park. In Perry County, Taylor Upchurch, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Governor Bevin visited the park back in October of last year. Workers say he awarded the park with a grant which will allow crews to start construction on a new roof after the holiday weekend. Now, with the summer months coming, lawmakers are touting new legislation to help prevent hot car deaths. Last year, 52 children died in hot cars. Tragedies advocates say are preventable. CBS's Hillary Lane has more from New York.
I cry every day for Chase.
Miles Harrison says he still has not forgiven himself for the death of his son Chase in the back seat of the car.
It started to hit me that I had killed my son. I did it. My poor sweet little boy.
Harrison's story isn't unique. Last year, a record 52 children died after being left in hot cars. Mistakes parents say they thought would never happen to them.
My husband and I vowed to never tell anyone that this had happened to us because there is so much shame.
Now, lawmakers and advocates are pushing the Hot Cars Act, bipartisan legislation that would require all new cars to be equipped with an alert system.
You have to have a warning when you leave your car. You should get that warning if you leave a child in a car.
Several car makers have already incorporated rear door alerts to remind parents they put something in the back, but lawmakers want it on the books.
This legislation is so important to guarantee the health and safety of children.
Bryce was just an unbelievably happy baby.
Raylyn Balfour's 9-month-old son died after she accidentally left him in the car. She now educates other parents about the risks to children.
The temperature can go up 10 degrees every 5 minutes. They can die or go into heat stroke very quickly.
Safety experts recommend putting something like your cell phone or one of your shoes in the back seat so that parents are forced to look before they lock. Hillary Lane, CBS News.
A congressional subcommittee is holding a hearing on car safety advances today. Well, it's now 6:42 as Brandon waddles over to the weather wall. He's going to bring us some unfortunate news that it's going to be hot, humid, and just downright gross. Brandon?
Well, thanks for setting me up so well. But yes, you're right. We are going to see hazy, hot, and humid conditions again as we head through the next several days, all the way through the holiday there next week on Monday. And I posted yesterday on social media that my favorite way to kind of cool down is with a big old bowl of ice cream. So hopefully you have some today or you have some this weekend because that's always something good to cool you off. Stonecrest Golf Course this morning, pretty quiet as we head over into Floyd County, over to the last 6 hours on satellite radar. A few clouds today, but I think the sunshine will filter through those. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s, already 73 there in Moorhead this morning. So your almanac for today, temperatures in the upper 80s. We average right around 76 for this time of the year. We could beat the record at Jackson if we make our forecast time. It looks like we're going to do that there as we head deeper into the afternoon. Some scattered chances for showers and storms will also be a possibility as well. Will?
All righty, sir. Thank you. Well, we will have stories trending on WYMT.com next. Thank you for joining us right here on Mountain News this morning. Just ahead, some of those stories are we have more info on 2 dogs that were injured in a police chase earlier this week.